Oi, good day, grade 12s. Mr. MNISI'S here, and welcome to Database for Dummies. Some of your teachers are complaining. I've been told that a database is the bane of everyone's existence. And you know what? I kind of get it. When I was your guys' age, I hated database too. But that's mainly because I didn't really understand what database was. So, you know what? I thought I'll help you guys. First, let's look at today's lesson. Today, we are going to be looking at the 2025 September paper, your trial exams from last year, your predecessor's trial exams from last year. And we are going to be looking at question 5 specifically. Okay, but first, before we even get there, we need to understand what is a database. I know that you guys probably learned this in grade 10 or 11, but we need to keep on reinforcing it and understand why is it that we are doing database? Why is database so important, and why is it that it keeps on giving everyone a headache? It's Patisikanda Mara. The moment we understand it, the moment we understand what database is, then we can get to killing it. Okay? So first, hope you guys have either something to drink. Got my energy drink here, Red Bull, some coffee. Hope you guys are ready to study. And before anything, let's get cracking. So, let's answer the question. What is database? The answer to that is very, very simple. A database is an organized collection of digital data stored on a computer. That's it. That is it. There's nothing more to it. A database is just us going around collecting a lot of information, digitalizing that information, and storing it somewhere. You see, the term database is made out of two words: data, meaning raw, unprocessed, collection of, well, things you should know or things that people know, and base, meaning a structure that something rests upon. So, database is the structure of which our information rests upon, or our raw information, unprocessed information rests upon. The moment we understand why we need a database, then we can, well, get better at it. You look at, as I said, the definition of database, right? It is the base of our data. This is the structure of which everything is built upon. And the reason why database keeps on giving us a lot of problems, it doesn't even matter how old you are, in what department you work in. There are whole countries that hire groups of people. I said countries, yes, countries that hire groups of people to collect, sort, and store data. Basically, a human database. There are whole companies that have divisions just for their databases. Well, some other companies are even building entire new softwares for their database. If you've been on the internet long enough, you know about ClickUp. If you've watched a YouTube ad in the past 3 weeks, it'll be someone going like, "Ha, ClickUp. ClickUp has AI, and it sucks, but it is what it is." A database helps us store all of the unprocessed and raw, well, data for future use. And we use that data to build upon new information. After all, you cannot process a Word document if you do not know to whom you're processing the document for. What's the point of keeping records in a spreadsheet if those records are not going to someone for something? What's the point of drawing up a contract if that contract is not going to be distributed, or it doesn't have a list of people where it's going to be distributed to? What's the point of buying a bunch of stock if that stock is not going to be recorded? And what's the point of manually adding in information on a spreadsheet where hence we have this new and amazing system that can do it automatically? A database is all of those things in one. So now, let's stop the yapping and let's get cracking. Okay, that was so cringe. That was so horrendous. Okay, I'll see myself out. No, that was so bad. That was actually really, really, really cringe. But before we get anything done, I think my mouse is giving me a bit of a problem here. I'm trying to fix that. Need to get a new mouse. Okay, I'll just use the trackpad on my laptop. So, before we even get to this, let's look at our source material. In this case, we are looking at the question paper from 2025 September. I have the question paper right here. And before we do anything, you know that you have to extract all the data that you're going to need. So what I'll do is that I'll just have this as a split screen situation where we can have our data, our question paper on one side and all of the data that we're going to need on the other side. So let's extract all of our information. According to the question paper, we are going to be working on the database named 5members. So let's go to the database named 5members. So my advice, whenever you are dealing with any question, any question that involves a database, is to go through all of the whole question. Just go through the whole question. After going through the whole question, ensure that your data or the data that you're given meets the standards of the question that you're going to be dealing with. For example, most of the time, whenever you guys in Matric get a data question, they normally would ask you guys to change or add a picture or add an image or whatever. And if you guys noticed, you look at the data, they'll give you a JPEG image or they'll give you a PNG images, right? Those will not work in your database. Database Access does not have the capability of processing JPEGs and PNGs, right? So what you need to do is that you then need to convert all of those into bitmaps, .bmp format. Then it will be readable as text, right? So as I said, if I was you guys, I will start by going through my questions. I hope you guys can see my cursor. Just read the questions out loud or in your heart of hearts. See if there's any question that has to do with pictures, and look at your data if your data meets the question, all of that, right? So first, 5.1, going to be changing the data type to a suitable data type, inserting a new field. We're going to be creating an input mask, okay? Looking at the input mask is going to be as follows, okay? We're going to be, adding a drop-down. Okay, drop-down list, okay? No, not a big deal, We move on. Open, we're going to be opening query 5, and we're going to be modifying it. Okay, suitable, stable things. Opening another query, and we are going to be modifying that. Did I miss anything? Are there pictures here? I think so. I remember seeing pictures. Oh, yes, there is. Actually, there is. There is this picture. A picture of 5 card. So let's go to our data and look for a picture called 5 card. There it is. If you guys can see, it says that the picture is a JPEG. That will not be useful. So what I would do is that I would create another folder. Just go to folder, new folder, and I'll call this database pictures. That's what I'll call it. And basically what happens here is that every single picture, make sure that your D's are capital letter, gotta have the good habits, build them in. So basically what this is going to do is that we are going to make sure that inside this specific folder, we add in the pictures that are going to be going on to our database, and we convert them into bitmap pictures. So we have this picture right here, 5 card pictures, and oh, we also have another image called medals. Okay, there you are. So we're gonna take the medals, also put it in here, and then we are going to convert these two pictures. We're going to convert these two pictures into bitmap pictures before we even start doing anything, just to make sure that everything is proper. So you're going to open the picture, go to save as, then this will pop up. Make sure that you're saving it in database pictures. Um, the drop down menu, go to BMP, bitmap, and then save your picture. Do the same with the metal picture, the metals picture. Go to image, bitmap, saved. Sweet. So now we have our picture saved. Everything is primed. It's like the word I'm using, prime hydration. Sorry about that. So what we're then going to do is that we're going to open our database and get to working. Most of the time, this is what I like doing. I like to have my database and my question paper just split screen, so that I can go through everything much quicker and make sure that I tick out everything that I need to. Obviously, I'll remove this if need be, but that's kind of how I love things. Okay, so let's look at the very, very, very first question here. It says that we should open the database called 5 members. We did that. Um, we are going to be working on the first table, TBL5 underscore 1, and applying the following changes. The first thing that we need to do is open TBL5 underscore 1. So let's go back to our database, TBL5 underscore 1. This is it. Let's get out of here. Okay, sweet. This is it. And we are going to be working in, of course, the design view. Because you're old now, and design view is how we work with things nowadays. So, we go back, okay, we open our database. Then what's needed from us is to change the data type for field name to a suitable data type, okay? Let's look at field name. The field called name. This is the field called name. Is the first field, and as you can see, it's long text. I don't know about you guys, but last time I checked, long text is overkill for what we need to do. I've never met anyone with a name that's over 100 characters. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't. So what we're going to do is that we're going to turn this into something more suitable for what it is, right? Since we're dealing with people's names, we can just turn this into short text, right? Because, well, short text is like 50 characters. Most people have names under 50 characters. Matter of fact, I think the common number of names is around six characters. Like Garabo is around 6 characters. So around 6 characters is the sweet spot for most names. John is like 4, etc. So we'd use short text because 50 characters is honestly all that we need. Um, so that's that question done. So now we can just draw on the question paper. If you have a digital question paper, I advise that you just keep track of all the questions that you finished by just highlighting them. So now what is this now? Okay, there you go. Just highlight all of the questions that you did, and we move on. Then we have question 5.1.2. In 5.1.2, it says we need to insert a field. This field is going to be called identity card. Okay, sweet, identity card. Okay, the field must appear as it does in the table. No, it must appear lost, okay? So we are creating a field called identity card, and it should be the last field that appears in the table. Okay, sweet. The field will store a picture. You remember the picture, the 5 card picture. So now we're going to be doing that. Right, we're going to be doing that. So we go back in datasheet view. Okay. So we go back to our spreadsheet. We have our spreadsheet here. For all you guys wondering, I have the question paper opened on a different screen. Why? When you are dealing with any CAT or IT based questions, you want to make sure that your formattings are exactly the same. Even when you're practicing at home and you have 2 screens, don't just type things all willy-nilly. If it says identity card and the I is capital, the C is capital, make sure that your I is capital and your C is capital. Okay? That way your life is golden. Don't have to worry about things. So now we are going to go here, the last field. They said we should add a field called identity number. Identity card, not identity number. So it's identity card. Okay, we've added a field called identity card, and they said that this field should contain this field should contain an image, and the image is the 5 card image. Okay, sweet. So what we're going to do for that is that, as you can see, it says identity card, and it followed the trend where we have identity card as a short text. And last time I checked, images are not text, so we need to work on that. We need to change that to a suitable data type. So we are going to stay here in our design view, and we are going to get the drop down menu so that we have all of our options. And as you guys can see, the only options that somewhat make sense is attachment and OLE object. And since we are dealing with a picture and we don't just want to link an object to something else, we would then create an OLE object. So this is the option that we choose, OLE object. OLE object. Then we have OLE object. Then we can just go to datasheet view. Yes, I'd like to save it now. The size of this file has been changed. Okay, sweet. Now, as I said, we are going to be adding a picture. But you guys need to pay attention. Where we adding the pictures? That we adding the picture under Anel. Aneli. Sorry about that. I assume that it's pronounced Anel. I am not very good at pronouncing any name, even if it's English names. Okay, so it is what it is. So we are going to be adding pictures to Anel, and this is Anel, and we're going to be adding a picture here where it says identity card. Ooh, I misspelled that. Okay, we'll fix it now. So now we're just going to right click. Not right click, sorry. Going to go to your identity card next to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Man. I'm using my mouse pad and not my actual mouse. Okay. So we are here. Yeah, that's working better. So we're here, Arnold, right? Identity card. Let's fix the spelling of that. real quick because identity card. Yes, so that's right. Yes, please. Now we go to Anno. Make sure that your cursor shows up at identity card. You then right click. From right click, you go down. There is an option there for insert object, right? Remember, our pictures are objects now. So we go to insert object, and then it gets you to choose which object you want to insert. So what we're going to do is that we're going to say create from file, the way you do in Word, and then we go to browse, and this is where knowing or giving your files proper names comes in, because everything is organized. So you go to files, you go to where you saved database pictures, and then you choose the picture that has bitmap on it, and there you go. You then insert the picture. Boom, now you're golden. So most of the times we would want to check if our picture was inserted properly, and you can use a form to just help you check that, and it should take you less than 2 minutes. So it's something that you should definitely do. So first we're going to save our database, close this database, go to create, then we can just use a form wizard, then we can say name and identity card, because that's what we want to show. Let's go to next. It doesn't really matter. Finish. And boom! Okay, Anil has an identity card. So we Gucci. That means we did good. We did good. Okay, my throat is getting a bit painful. Red Bull. Not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor me, I would teach catwalk skydiving if I have to. Okay, so yes, please. Now we can delete the form that we did, because now we know that our picture is inserted and it's inserted properly. So now we go back to our question and we can tick this off. Yeah. Okay, so now we go to create an output mask. Okay, so now we're going to be creating an output mask for what? For member code in the following format. Okay, so we're going to be creating an input mask for member code in the following format. So what we need is 2 compulsory letters followed by an @ followed by at least 3 but possibly 4 digits. So simple English, we need to restrict the data that a person can enter to this category. It should only be 2 letters. Those are compulsory. They should just add 2 letters. They won't proceed without adding 2 letters, right? Then they should add an @ and then it should be followed by at least, meaning compulsory, 3 numbers, and possibly, optionally, a 4th number. So, how do you then know how to do this? In your guys' exams, let me just put this to the side. In your guys' exam papers, you guys are normally treated with something that will help. What you guys are normally treated with is this sheet right here. Right? It's normally at the end of your question paper. This sheet right here is what we are going to use to determine what to add as our input mask. So here we learn that, hey, if you want to add 3 compulsory letters, all in uppercase, it should be L in uppercase, right? Sorry. So the L says the letters are compulsory. The uppercase is then the greater than sign. The greater than sign says, hey, all of this is going to be in uppercase, capital letters. Okay? Then followed by a hyphen. So, followed by a hyphen. We can see that this is a hyphen, meaning that the symbol for followed by is a backstroke, right? The backstroke is the symbol for followed by. So if this had said two compulsory letters in uppercase, that means we would have this greater than sign, two capital letter L's, followed by maybe a exclamation point. Then you'd have the stroke exclamation point instead, right? And the following is an optional number, which is 9. It shows you that 9 is for optional numbers. That's the code for optional numbers, right? So let's look at the other. Let's look at the other example. It says that, hey, 3 compulsory letters, which the first one will appear first, and the first one will only appear in uppercase. So what does that mean? If all of the letters, if the person's only supposed to put in 3 letters, but you only want the first letter to be uppercase and the rest of the letters to not be capital letters, what you then need to say is that, hey, the letter that I'm going to enter is going to be greater than capital L, but less than capital L. The L stands for letters, right? You don't make a small L just because of only the first ones are going to be capitals, okay? You need to make sure that every single L you put is a capital L, and then the way you indicate that something is not capital is by putting the lesser than sign, right? You put the lesser than sign, you're saying that, hey, every single letter that I'm going to put here is going to be smaller than the capital letter L. It's going to be a small letter. It's not going to be a capital letter. And if you put a greater than sign, it says, hey, every single letter that I'm going to be putting here is big. It's big letter, hence greater than sign. Letter big, very big, right? Then we go to followed by 2 digits. Then some are 2 digits. The 2 digits, every single digit is represented by 0. Okay, so numbers cannot have capitals, they cannot have smalls, therefore we just use 0. The number of zeros determines the number of digits. Then followed by 1 optional letter. The question mark is for optional letter, right? Meaning that, hey, we don't really know what you wanna put, but put whatever you want, man. It can be capital, it can be small, we really don't care. Okay, that's what that's telling us. So how does this compare to what we've been given? So here they're telling us, hey, 2 compulsory letters followed by a at sign, followed by at least 3, but possibly 4 digits. So here they're telling us that, hey, we are going to use 2 compulsory letters. Are they capital letters? We don't know. We're not told. They're just compulsory letters, right? They're not capitals, but they are compulsory. So what are we going to use? We're going to use capital letter L, right? Then it tells us that it's followed by an at. So the symbol that is followed by is an at, right? So what are we going to do? We are going to add an at, right? So it's going to be stroke at, backstroke at. Then it says followed by at least 3. When they say at least, it means that 3 is compulsory. So what is the symbol for compulsory numbers? Compulsory numbers is 0. So it's going to be at least 3 compulsory numbers. So it's going to be about 3, about 0, about 3, right? So it's going to be 3 zeros that we're going to be adding. Then it says the fourth, possibly a fourth. So when they say possibly, they just mean, the fourth one is optional. And what's the symbol for optional numbers? The symbol for an optional number is 9, right? So let's do that now. I'm just gonna close you, little buddy. Boom. Get out of here. Okay. So we go back to our table, the TBL5-1 underscore one. I'm sorry. Then they're telling us that we are going to be doing this in design view for, I think it was member code. My throat gets dry very, very simply. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put this to the side. There you go. So now we add member code, input mask, here it is. So it's gonna be field size, format, and then input mask. Boom, we have input mask over here. Donezo. Then we are like, okay, at least 2 compulsory letters. Remember, for compulsory letters, you need capital letter L. So we're gonna go 2 compulsory letters, caps lock, L, right? That's what we're gonna be put there. Followed by a symbol. Whenever you're following a symbol, you know, got your backstroke symbol, at, right? Then followed by at least 3 numbers, meaning that a compulsory 3 numbers. So we're gonna go to 0, 0, 0, 3 zeros, and optionally a 4th digit. The options is 9. Then boom, you get your marks. Your life is good. Don't forget to save. Always save your work. Always save your work. Always save your work. Okay. Sorry about that. So now, already so far things are good. We've gotten the 4 marks, 8 marks collected so far. In fact, not even 8, 9 marks collected so far. We cruising nicely. So now they're saying, hey, add bronze, right? Add bronze as a value. Make sure that it appears first in the list. Okay. So what are we going to do? We're gonna go to membership status, and we are going to add bronze as a list field. Okay. Then my phone is ringing. So I'm back. Hopefully through the power of editing, you guys didn't really see anything. So let's go. So as they said, we need to add a drop down menu and add bronze as the first option of set drop down menu under membership status. Okay, so first we're gonna go to membership status. There you are. As you can see, our option for text type, for data type, is short text. Remember, we're just not adding a short text. We want there to be a drop down menu. So what we're going to do is that we're going to switch this data type. So we're gonna go to data type, then we are going to go to lookup wizard. Then here in lookup wizard, we are going to say I will type the values I want, of course. That sounds so rude. So to get marks for this one, you can just type bronze and be on your way. Right, that is an option that you have. Although personally, I would advise that you go back to your table, look at all of the options that are offered on your table, because it's not just bronze, but you look at all of the options and type everything out to get things up and running so that it's an actual list, because they said it's a list. You can have a list with only one value, right? So let's cancel this for now. Go to design view. Yes, please save. Let's go to design view. Okay, so now we have bronze, silver, platinum, and gold. Sweet. So we can go back to our design view, back to membership status, look up wizard. I will type Then column 1, they said it should start with bronze, so we are going to type bronze. Don't type bronze, just type bronze. Okay, there you go. Bronze. Right? Then you can start typing the others. In this case, silver, gold. Please make sure to use proper techniques. Silver. Keep on forgetting that my mouse is all messed up. Okay, silver, gold, and platinum. Hope I spelled that correctly. And we just go to next and limit to list. Do you want to limit the entire choice to list? Multiple values. Let's just limit to list and finish. Now you go to, yes, please don't forget to save your work. So now you go to your data sheet view and you go to membership. There's a drop down and boom, bronze is your first option, but the option that was chosen is platinum, but bronze is the first option. And that is done. So you can just go back and highlight that we are done with that. Then we can save and close TBL 5_1. So let's do that. Save and bye-bye. Sweet. So we done, right? So far we got like 11 marks out of this. Simple, easy, life is good. Okay. Now let's continue. We are here. 5.2. So according to 5.2, we are going to work on queries. Simple. The query is based on TBL 5_1, which is this. Okay, sweet. So let's open our query. Boom, opened. Sweet. Let's go back to our question paper. Our question paper says we open our query 5_1. That's based on TBL 5_1. And we open it in design view. We will do that. Modify the query to create a list of all male members. So we are going to organize or modify the query to show all the male members with platinum status, okay? But they need to be born after, the keyword here is after 2019. Okay, and that's 3 marks. So the 3 marks already tells you that you're going to be doing 3 things, okay? So let's go to our data query. So we're in our query. We need to look at it in design view. Okay, we are in design view. So we just expand this right here. So according to our question, we need to modify the query to create a list of all male members. Okay, so okay, we're gonna be dealing with gender. Okay, male members with platinum status born after 2009. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to add conditions so that when we look at the data sheet view of the query, the only list that shows is a list that has all the dudes that are born after 2009, right? So here, 2019, sorry. So here we have name, gender, membership status, and date of birth, okay? So the names, we don't really care about that, but we do care about gender. What I notice is that sometimes we don't look at our data sheet views hard enough, right, to notice little subtleties in them. So what I would do if I was you is that before I start typing, I'll go back to my datasheet view and start taking notes. So we're looking at these three columns. We're looking at gender, membership status, and date of birth. So we go here, we go to gender. So our genders are written in F's and M, right? So you don't type fully male, you just type F or M. Okay, sweet. Then we look at our membership status. So they said we should display people that only have platinum statuses, right? So we go here, we're like, okay, platinum statuses. How many platinum statuses do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meaning that there will be an absolute minimum of 5 people with platinum status. But if you look properly, Mulifi here is a female, right? So we count her out. So meaning that we are going to have 1, John needs to be displayed. Brendan also might need to be displayed. Might, I mean. Anil might also need to be displayed. Might, right? So you have 3 possible names there. Yeah, 3 possible names. Then they said past 2019, right? So who was born after 2019? 1, 2. So only 2 people in platinum status were born after 2019. So the list should only have 2 people. That's how you check if what you did is correct. If the list has more than 2 people, you did something wrong somewhere. Okay? So we go back to design view. Are we gonna deal with names? No, we're gonna deal with gender, right? In design view, always remember, we are saying, hey, display this, meaning that in our criteria, we are telling it already, in this particular scenario that we have, we want you to do this particular thing. And whenever we do that in other apps, we always say, hey, this block equals to something. Right? That's how we just talk to computers. So you do not throw that away when you get to access to databases, right? You do the same thing. You come to database, you're like, okay, hey, this block equals to what? We need all the males to show up. So it's equals to M, right? Equals to M. Then you just save that, run, and when you run, it will show all of the males, right? But now we don't just need the males, we need the males who are platinum. So what I would do is that I know that sometimes when I'm typing, my spelling ends up being sideways. So what I'll do is that I would go here to platinum, highlight platinum just to make sure that my spelling is as good as it should be, right? Because of, when you're doing exams and you're typing, sometimes you do get nervous and you might misspell something, right? So we're gonna go to status, platinum, then again equals to, again, quotation marks. Why? Because this is a word. Whenever we are dealing with criteria that has to do with specific words, we add quotation marks because of you speak words. Okay, words are spoken, words are written, words are delivered by someone else. Unlike numbers that can just be there, words need a catalyst. Hence, we have the quotation marks. So it's going to be equals to platinum, close quotation. Again, we run it just to double check everything, and boom, now we have 3 people. But here comes the tricky part. We have a date that we need to deal with. So we need people that were born after 2019. So we go back, okay, date of birth, then boom, date of birth. So here we have a date. We need people that were born after 2019, right? Not in 2019, not before, but after 2019. So you'd be greater than sign, right? And you would then put the date of 2019 as the result, right? So normally in Access, okay, So normally when you're dealing with database access, right, your date is structured in the following. You have your year, your month, and your uh, your year, your month, and your day. That's how the date is structured. But if you really do not want to be stressing about how the date is structured, what I would then do is just highlight one of the dates here, copy it, go back to design view, say greater than here, and then I'll just edit the date to be what I want. So they said 2019, that's gonna be A9 here. This is going to be 01 01. Then we just run the query, boom, and you're done. 2 people, the way we said it, and both of them are born after 2019. And your life is golden. You're good. You have passed. Your life is awesome sauce. Okay? So now you have the 3 marks totally free. And as I said, your life is awesome sauce. So now we continue. Only a few things to do and we're done. So now we're in question 5.3, right? In 5.3, we are dealing or working with query 5_2, and it's based on TBL data table. This table, okay? So in design view, okay, sweet. So now we are going to save our query. Yes, save it. Yes. So we save, we close, then we go to query 5_2. We have query 5_2. We open it in design view, and then we go listen to our instructions. What are we doing now? What is it now? And this is a 7-mark question, by the way, so you really need to lock in. So here they're saying, hey, display only the records where volunteers indicate that they know about taking care of animals, right? So we're gonna go back. We're gonna go to our query in datasheet view. Okay, we see that, hey, the knowledge about taking care of animals, this is a yes or no type of sequence, true or false, yes or no, a tick or no tick. Okay, so we know that, okay, this is a Boolean value, a yes or no, a tick or no tick. It can only be one of them. Okay, it's not a problem. So now to only display the ones that said yes by a tick, they mean yes, right? So to only display the ones that said yes, we are going to go to datasheet. We're going to go to knowledge, and in criteria, we are going to add equals to capital letter yes. Then we run our query. This should just show all of the people that said yes, right? Already few marks under. Then it says insert a calculated field called hours worked to calculate the hours worked by each volunteer, right? So we need to create a calculated field. Let me just highlight this. The marks, we got the marks down. We need to create a calculated field called hours worked to calculate the hours worked by a volunteer. Very simple, right? So to create a calculated field, normally this is what I'll normally teach my learners, is that you have it's a 3-step process, right? It's a 3-step process, and step 1 is to find a empty field. In this case, this field over here, it has nothing, so we can go to that field, right? So now this is going to be our calculated field. So we find an empty field, and like, hey, we got a field, right? So in our field, we are then going to say equals because we are creating an equation, right? Then with this equal to, we can then calculate or add our calculation, right? So in this case, we're gonna say equals to, and since we are calculating the hours each person worked, so we're just gonna say equals to, then we're going to, oh, sorry about that, I had to go use the loo. So question 5.3. It's a very tricky question, right? That's why it's 7 marks. It's a very tricky question because now they need you to do a lot of things when it comes to this calculated field, right? So basically, we want to check how many hours each worker worked, is volunteer worked. So we're going to go here, right? So we have that time in and that time out, and we want to create a field that displays the amount of hours that they work, the calculated field that displays the amount of hours that they work. So how I like doing it is that I'd say, hey, this field is equals to, what is this field equal to? Then I'll start putting in my key pointers, right? So first, I know that, hey, I have my two givens, right? So my two givens in this case is, my two givens in this case is time. I need to make sure that's typed correctly. There you go. Time in. There you go. So we have our time in and comma our time out. We have our time in and our time out. Those are our two fields that we're going to be working with. So what do we then do after getting this, right? So now we have our two fields that we're going to be working with. Then we need to determine the function that we're going to be using, right? In this type of situation, we are dealing with hours, we're dealing with time, right? So this is a subsidiary of date, right? So we're going to use some iteration of a date function. So in this case, we are going to be using the date diff because we are trying to find the difference between two specific points in time. So we're going to say, hey, we're going to use the date. So you spell date with capital letter D and diff with capital letter D-I-F-F, date diff. Don't forget your open brackets, date diff, open brackets. Then this date, we don't need it to show up as a date. We need it to show up as an integer. So we're going to add open quote n, close quote, and this n is part of this whole statement. So we're going to say comma, time in, comma, time out. Then every single one of these is put inside the date of the date difference. So we can then put in comma, yes, not comma, the parentheses, the closing parentheses. So now what you should be having is date difference, or difference is null to being a date, but it is between the time in and the time out, right? And since we're dealing with hours, right, what we are going to do then is say, hey, we want to divide this by 60 minutes, which is 1 hour, right? So we want to divide this by 60 minutes, which is 1 hour. So if we go out and run this, we run it, boom, we should have all of our times up and running. So we have the time in, the time out, she worked or he worked 3 hours. The other person worked 9 hours, the other person worked 5 hours. If you do the math, these are absolutely correct, right? I know that was a bit much of a struggle, but if you sit down, buckle down, try to learn the different functions, then things will be golden. If I was you, I would get some sort of a spreadsheet that I would type the different functions in, use conditional formatting to make it link it what I want it to do, print it out and put it on my wall so that each and every single day I see it, right? Then whenever I get to an exam, I do not get confused. But most of the time, you guys will get some iteration of a formula sheet that contains different functions. You just need to know when, how, and where to apply them. But yeah, so we got question 5.3 down. That's 7 marks in the bag. So now we're going to question 5.4, which is, by the looks of it, our longest question yet. This is around 10 marks, so we do need to log in. Yes, we have the 21. Mara, we can get 10 marks here absolutely free, right? Like, if we just log in, you will get 10 marks for free and very, very simply, right? So basically, the question already gave us the output, and what we need to do is that we need to work backwards from the report to have this output. So we create a report in design view, right? We create a report in design view. We name the report RPT5 underscore 3, right? And then we manipulate the report to get everything that we see here. Okay, so let us do that. Okay, so let's get to completing this. This is the last question for the day. Let's get to our database. Let's go. Okay, sweet. So now, since we're done with this, we can just save it and close it. And the first task that we had for this question is that we need to create a report. This report needs to be created in design view, and it should be called RPT5 underscore 3. Please name your reports and everything they told you to name correctly, because those are marks. You would get like 1 mark just for naming it correctly. Alright, so what we do is that we then go to create. What are we creating? We're creating a report, right? This report will be called, it's based on RQY52, yes, but we are going to be calling this report, let's rename it here. Just gonna rename this report to, what did it say? RPT5 underscore 3. So we're just gonna do that here. RPT5 underscore 3. There you go. RPT5 underscore 3. First mark, done. Let's go. Then we go back to our question. I have it open on my second screen. So now we need to make sure that our question meets all of this. So if you've been paying attention, you'd see that I accidentally opened the wrong query to make this with. So I am just going to delete that. No, I do not want to save it. Open query QRY5 underscore 1. This is the one that I'm supposed to use. Just open it up, and then let's open up this table underscore 1. Open up. Thank you. Close that query. Sweet. So now I have my table. TBL5 underscore 1. That's the one that I'm going to be using for my report. So I go to report. Same thing we did last time. So now we have our report. Then we need to rename this report to RPT5. And the RPT is in small letters. So always remember your letterings need to be proper. So RPT5_3. Done. First mark. Done. Your life is good. Life is golden. You're living and cruising nicely. So, as I said, we need to have our report in design view. Design view. We are in design view now. So, from the looks of this report, so to make it easier for you guys, I'm just gonna put this here and then have access on the side. Let me just collapse this. And now we have a good little workspace here that we can use. So I can just expand my access. There you go. Make this a bit smaller. So now my job is to make this look like this. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. Okay. So the first thing that I notice is that, hey, here I have the fields and they're in a row, just listed going down. And if I go to my report view here, you can see that it's going sideways. It's going sideways from left to right. It's supposed to go down. So that's the first thing that I would tackle if I was you. So I'd go to the page header. Page headers, useless. They won't really affect anything. You can just ignore them. What they want us to display is the following. They want us to display the name, the membership status, the date of birth, and the membership fee. That's what we're gonna be displaying. So we go back here, we're like, hey, did they say membership code? Nope. So we can delete the membership code. Did they say we should display the phone number? Nope. So phone number useless. Did they say that we should display their age? Hell no. So age is useless. Gender also completely useless. What we need to have is membership status, date of birth, membership fee, and that's it. So what we do is that we then select all three of our buddies over here, and then we just drag it into the side. Come here, come you so. Done. Then all you have to do is just make everything show up from top to bottom like this. So I can just click on memberships and then just take membership down a bit. Okay. You're gonna have to use feeling for this one. You gotta feel it. Ooh, that tonight's gonna be a good night. It's an old song. I know I am a dinosaur, but it's good. You know, gotta. What is going on here? I'm not using my mouse. I'm using a cursor. As I said, my mouse is not working properly, so this won't work as smoothly as I want it to. But there you go. So now we want you to come here. Yes. So it's membership status, date of birth right here, and membership right over here. Okay, so if you go to design view, you'll then see that, hey, the person's names are showing up, but they're showing up in the wrong position. What should be showing up there is name, membership, date of birth, and membership fee, right? So we are then going to fix that. We go back to our design view. So let's just select everything here. I can move everything here a little to the right. Boom. Then when we get here, we can just type name, membership, operators. Again, make sure that everything you're typing matches up with your question paper, because that's how you lose marks. Like I just did over there, I said member neep, so you need to work on that. Then thank you. I need to get a new mouse. Okay, then date of birth, and then membership fee. Wait, membership, not shop, ship, membership fee. Almost typed in membership free. I was like, what are you doing? Okay, now page header. There's no page header here, so we can literally delete everything here. It's useless as of the moment. So just select everything on page header. Let's select all of these. Select all of these things. All of them. Select, and then bye-bye. Then from here, we can just take this and pull it to the side so that our page is not as big and as weirdly shaped as it is. Because right now our page is like all stretched out, it's kind of like a landscape. So you wanna just work on moving everything to like one cohesive area like this. Okay, so now let's pull you down. Identity card, go down. Identity card. I don't want identity card, go down. I don't want identity card, go down. Okay, yes, that you using a mouse is a bit of a headache. There you go. Thank you. Finally, it listened to me. So we then can go here. This is a count field. So here, as you can see, we have the total amount. So this is not really counting anything, right? So we're gonna open. Go here. No. Open. Okay, this is a weird shape again. That's fine. Take this, move it up in here. So count, we're not using count. What we're going to use is sum, right? So we're going to use the sum of what? We're going to use the sum of membership fees. That's what we're calculating. We want to calculate our membership fees. So we're going to use the sum of membership fee. Let's close that. Then we can come here and just say total fees. I think that's what it said. Let's go back to our page. It says total amount, not total fees. So let's just change this. Amount. Total amount. So now we're almost there. Then what's left? What's left for us to do, according to our question paper, is put medals and put medals there. Okay. So we're gonna go to here. And then we're gonna say medals. Was it in capital letters? Double check. Always double check your spelling, guys. MEDALS. A medal. And it's not in capital letters. So there you go. And then we then need to insert a picture here. So first we'll just go to design view. You go to design view, you can see that, hey, there's a space for medals. Everything looks proper. And the total amount at the end, everything looks Gucci, you know? Everything looks nice. We then go back to our design view. Boom. Nope. Go back to our design view, and according to our question paper, we need to insert the picture medal image. So in order for us to do that, I'm gonna go here. What we're going to do is that we're going to go to identity card, delete identity card. Then we go to controls, right? Controls, or you can just say insert image, still works, right? So insert image, browse, or another way to do this is to go to controls, grab the image, put it in here, and then insert your image. This also still works. So I'm just gonna use the easy way, going to insert image, take my medals, enter, and my medals should be right here. Boom, medals. I'm gonna just shift you to the side like this, and then if I go to my design view, I have medals. If I go to my question paper, as you can see, the alignment is not really proper. The medals need to be a bit smaller, and right underneath the word medals. So I'll go back to my design view. First, make this image a bit, let's put this image here. Then I'll work on making it a bit smaller. The word medals needs to be a tad bigger. They didn't tell us what font to use, so you don't have to really worry about that, right? Man. Okay, where was I? Make this a bit smaller and a bit under that. I just wanna, get it to fit these guidelines that we have. Having it a bit here probably works. And if we go to design view, booyah! So our design view has everything that we need, and it'd be looking good. As good as day. As you can see, everything looking good, looking pashosh. I go back to our design view. Everything's looking good. Then we just save that. We give it the name that we are supposed to give it. Since we already wrote it over here, it's easy for us to remember. So it's RPT5 underscore. Now my keyboard is also giving me a problem. Underscore 3, and okay. Then you're done. You're done. Your life is good. You just look at it in design view. You look at it, you gaze at it, you're like, I'm doing good. I'm passing the trick. Then you just save and you close. You submit. You go to sleep. Life is awesome. Right? Life is good. Life is good. Just make sure that all of your things are proper. Make sure that all of the work that you submit is your final work, meaning that it's edited properly, all of your spellings are proper, all of your alignments and everything are to the book. And the moment you do that, your life is good. You will be cruising very, very nicely. And with that said, I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are doing well. And as always, hand to head, salute.